Hi, in this short video we're going to look at how to get a Waltz demo site up and running using Docker. So let's take a quick look. I've got some Docker images, a Docker repository set up here on Waltz demo Docker, which is under currently my home directory. You can see here there's a quick start guide, and basically saying you can either check out this repository, in which case it's got some instructions how to build the demo, but if we just want to quickly get Waltz up and running on your machine, then we can follow these instructions here and use Docker Compose. So we can take this section and create a new directory with a file name called dockercompose.yml and set that to be its contents. So over here I've already got that set up, and I've created this file already. So if we just take a quick look at that, see it's the same file. Over here you can see I'm running a program called Lazy Docker, which just helps me see what's going on. So see over here I've cleaned out my Docker install, got no containers and only a handful of images, none of which are the Waltz images. So this should download everything from scratch from Docker Hub. So let's give it a go. So if we do Docker Compose up and -d, put it in the background, we should see that it's pulling the changes. You can see it's already got quite a lot of the layers, which are the Postgres, and it's just pulling the latest. So that's the sample database. Basically it's a Postgres with a bunch of sample data ready to be loaded, and the web one is effectively a runnable jar, a fat jar, which I built earlier and posted onto Docker Hub. Okay, so you can now see that the files have been, the containers are running. This one is currently waiting for the sample data to be loaded, so we're going to have a look at the Postgres. We can see it's quickly running through, creating all the table structures, and we'll start loading data. In a second we should see that, then the CPU will shoot up on here, and we can see now that this is Waltz is starting up. We see the message at the end saying basically it's completed and we're good to go. So if we now flip to our browser, we should be up and running on localhost, and here we are. We've got Waltz up and running. We've got some quick few instructions here on how to navigate around, some samples you might want to take a quick look at, so yeah, diagrams, etc. There's a couple of built-in things in the sample data set. So that's pretty much it. So we'll take a quick look under the covers at how this is configured, just so you know. So the Docker Compose file, let's go through it again in a little bit more detail. Actually, before doing that, let's just talk quickly about Docker Compose up and Docker Compose down. If we do run Docker Compose down, this will effectively take our containers out. So the containers no longer exist. You can see the images still exist, which we just downloaded from Docker Hub, the Waltz web and the Waltz sample DB. So we bring that up again, we should see those start. See, it was running on a local network, unless I'm not sure what they're called, virtual network within Docker. And we see it's starting up again. It's doing the same sample load. So you probably, if you're making changes to your sample instance, you probably don't want to be running up and down on the Docker Compose. You probably want to be doing the up once and then using start and stop, so that changes to the data will be preserved. If you do a tear down, then obviously the data is reset. So in this file, Docker Compose, we can see basically we just specified two services, Postgres and a web. Obviously the address is on Docker Hub. We've set up some port forwarding so that we can connect to the database through our tooling, and basically sharing a network, which we define as Waltz network, which by default will be a bridge network. We've got the web image. Again, we sort of said, okay, we're going to proxy ports 80 on our host to 8443 on the container, which is the one that we're starting the web server upon, which allows us to hit localhost port 80 and get Waltz. If we could take a quick look at how these files are built, this is actually the full checkout. So we go and have a look in. This is the Waltz web. If we look at the Waltz.properties, in here we can see, okay, the URL is just saying, okay, I want to connect to Postgres, and the name is Postgres, which is obviously matching to this name here, the service name. Not much more to say about that. Look at the Docker file itself. You can see in this one, so that's a bit more space. Standard bit on OpenJDK8, copying a bunch of files, which are basically the property files, with this wait for it script, and the Waltz properties, which happen to begin with W, into a temp directory. Set the work directory, make the port 8449, which is the default port available, and run chmod to make this wait for it script executable, and then we run this script and tell it to wait for the database to become available. We do that because otherwise Waltz, it takes quite a long time to start the container, the Postgres container, the first time, because it's going through and running all of these DDL statements and all of this SQL inserts to create the sample data set. So by just saying, here we're just saying, okay, wait until Postgres is ready before you kickstart the Java process. So here we're kickstarting the Java process. We're just saying, okay, use a class path of dot, which is the /temp, and don't got full path here, waltz.jar, and then in particular we're wanting to run the main class within that, which is the thing that bootstraps Waltz. That's pretty much all there is to that. Take a quick look at the sample database. Docker file. Here you can see it's just a standard. We take it from Postgres. We set up the standard environment variables to say, okay, what are the default, the database to create and the credentials to use, and we set up this, copy this dump file which was created from my test instance of Waltz into this Docker entry point initdb.d, and that will basically, I think when the Postgres instance starts anything in here, it will load and run into this newly created database. And then we quickly are saying, okay, and make this port 8432 available should anyone wish to map it to a host port. If you want to basically take an existing Waltz database and do this yourself, there's a little refresh dump thing in here, which is just basically running pg dump and getting the data out from that exposed port. Right, that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's how to, well, the first part of that video was just how to quickly get Waltz up and running, and the second part was just a bit more of a deep dive on how it works. Hope that's been useful for you. Any comments, please open issues on GitHub, reach out to us. Okay, thanks for watching.